If you're watching this video, then I assume you want to see how you should be completing your commonlit.org assignments for your language arts class. So, all right, I've logged into my account and I have an assignment waiting for me, and it's due. I'm recording this on the 21st of August. This is due tomorrow. I'm going to get it done now because I have some time. Why not? So there we go. I'm going to begin my assignment. And just a disclaimer, I'm using Chrome and I'm doing this, recording this on a Mac. So if you're using your school provided laptop or just any non-Mac, the layout might be a little different, but expectations are the same. So, okay, this is great. It's giving me a little information on Sandra Cisneros, gives me a little context, and lets me know a little bit about her writing before I dive into her story. Now, I need to make note of this. As you read, take notes on how the narrator reacts to the red sweater. Got it. Okay. Now, part of the reason why I picked the story is because I've read it many, many times. And I'm just going to increase the size there a little bit. Okay. So as you read, take notes on how the narrator reacts to the red sweater. So I'm going to save you the trouble of actually reading this. Now, you might notice I have guided reading mode on for this assignment. Not all of your assignments will have guided reading mode. Guided reading mode is questions that make sure that you understand enough of what you've read to move on to the next section. Okay, so now I know that in this first section, there's nothing that tells me about how she reacts to the red sweater. So question one, how does the speaker describe growing up? Let's see, you become more mature with every year. You carry your previous years with you. You no longer feel like a child. You're no longer all right, save you the trouble. All right, I might need to read back over this. In this case, I don't. You carry your previous years with you. Yay. All right. Okay, so now I'm moving on, and okay. So now we have the red sweater. Now I need to annotate. I need to make some notes here. Now I see annotate here. It'll give me a little instruction. Select text to highlight or add annotations. So let's see. I would have known how to tell her it wasn't mine. Okay, so I've made a little highlight. Maybe I want to make it yellow because that's my favorite kind of highlighter. And maybe I want to make a note so that when I go back, I remember why I wrote that. Okay. All right. So we're gonna keep going. She mentions the red sweater again, but nobody. We want to know how Rachel responds to it. So nobody likes it. Okay, now Rachel's our narrator, so here we go. She calls it ugly, and that the sleeves are all stretched out. I don't need to highlight. I don't need to highlight like that it's got red plastic buttons and a collar, because that's really just description. It doesn't tell us how she feels about it. Okay, so here I'm going to add a little note. It's maybe 1,000 years old, which some things that are 1,000 years old are very valuable and cool, and even if it belonged to me, I wouldn't say so. All right, so I'm showing my thinking there. which is great because then when my teacher looks at this, they're going to be, okay, yeah, they're really processing this. Cool. All right. So where do we go? Raggedy and old. I've kind of already recognized this, but I'm gonna highlight all the points here because why not? I'm just doing that with the thing with the clicker and clicking the color there. Okay, let's see. Of course, it's yours. I remember. Okay. Oh, now I've got another question. Why does Mrs. Price give Rachel the sweater? Um, I mean, maybe she wants to embarrass Rachel. I can't really prove that though. I don't think it's because she cares about Rachel's comfort. Um, and she didn't see Rachel wearing it yesterday. She believes it belongs to Rachel. So okay. Um, all right, and I'm gonna keep going. They're sitting there like a big red mountain. And let's see, how does she? Oh, so she moves everything away from it. Okay, so that's good detail. This is all probably going to help me out later. So okay, a little more. Okay, and oh, gross! It smells like cottage cheese. That is some distinct imagery right there, because I imagine even if you enjoy eating cottage cheese, you don't want to wear a sweater that smells like, you don't want to wear anything that smells like it, but I feel like a sweater especially. um oh, the sweater hurts, germ filled. That is kind of gross. All right, and okay, so now she's crying here, and um somebody else's sweater at the end of the day. All right. So now I've got a third question here. After Mrs. Bryce gives Rachel the sweater, she demands. Rachel quietly puts the sweater on without protest. No, she doesn't. She cries. Mrs. Price demands that Rachel puts the sweater on. All right. Great. I've done it. So now I'm going to start the assessment. Okay, so the major theme of the text, this is the author's message. So we are shaped by our past ages, even as we grow up and change. Looks best to me. I'm just gonna get, you know how to do multiple choice questions. You've made it this far, so I'm gonna kind of speed through these without explaining every single thing I'm doing. You're more than welcome to shoot me an email and ask questions. Okay, so now I need to find supporting evidence for part A. If I want to look back at that, yet we are shaped by our past ages. Okay, let me look at the answers here, and you'll feel like to underneath the year. Yep, that's the best answer right there. Is A. At least I think it is. We'll see when I see my score. Because the way you grow old is going to. All right. Which of the following statements best explains the quoted simile? Okay. So the way that you grow old is kind of like an onion, or the little wooden dolls, nesting dolls, I believe they're called. And let's see, she doesn't know. Thinks of growing up as developing layers. As okay, I'm gonna go with that one. That's it. You'll see that as you go on, the responses get a little more. They're harder to pick from there. How does she react to being told to put on the red sweater? Uh, but she's more upset with herself. Yeah. So now you might see an answer like this. Rachel cries and think, oh, that's it, because she's embarrassed about having to wear her old clothes. No, it's not even hers. It's Phyllis Lopez's. Yeah. Spoiler alert. Not really though. All right. So I'm going to go with A as the best answer there. All right. So now I've got a short answer question here. and I'm going to write that which emotions are emphasized through the author's use of first person point of view. Cite evidence in your answer. So I'm going to go with shame. Um, So I don't just want like a straight up answer. I don't if I see this, you're not gonna get any. Shame on you. So I need to cite some evidence, and I would say, well, Rachel, the narrator of Sandra Cisneros' 11. Oh, it's a short story, so I'm going to put it in quotes. Put the comma outside the quotation mark because the title that's part of the title. Experiences. Oh, describes experiencing several emotions during the events of the story. It says which emotions are emphasized. It's not which emotion is emphasized. So I'm going to rephrase that and say over the brief but impactful course of events in Sandra Cisneros' short story 11, the narrator, Rachel, experiences a range of emotions, and through her first person narration, the reader well, I wouldn't say I experienced them. Describing them all as they occur. I can just say in describing them all in real time. Using powerful imagery and figurative language. So I'm going to say that I feel like she doesn't begin with excitement. Because she talks about having the cake, but that's not until later. So she begins by showing her reflections upon growing introduce my evidence. I need my evidence. All right. So for example, she I want to go seamlessly into my quote there that maybe one day when you're all grown up, maybe you will need to cry like if you're 3. And that's Okay. I don't need to go any I could go more into the that's what I tell mama when she's sad and needs to cry, but I don't need to do that. I'm going to end my quote there. Um and I want to be specific, so she does that in paragraph 3, writing out numbers that are 10 or lower. So now I'm going to mix in a little summary there because I'm going to go. It says which emotions. I need to talk about at least one emotion. So I'm going to go a little bit further and I'm going to say, as the story progresses and Rachel is forced to accept the red sweater that her teacher has assumed is hers, she expresses her disgust in many ways, from wondering how long till I can take the red sweater and throw it over the schoolyard fence. I don't need any more than that. I do need to watch out for my spelling there. So, and throw it over the schoolyard fence to put on. Okay, so now I got to go. I keep going back to the question there because I want to also talk about the use of first person point of view, and I think that the use of first person point of view, along with the I already say powerful imagery there. I say figurative language, along with the let's see. I want to talk about just like some kind of details. I don't need to take forever on this, so I'm just saying the use of first point of person point of view, along with the vivid sensory details used to describe the sweater, goes through the process evokes for her narrator. You know, I'm not saying that I'm necessarily expecting the, complex language. I'm writing the way that I write. But what I am expecting from you is that you are using evidence and you are explaining how that evidence supports the answer in a really like solid paragraph. And if it says emotions, I'm expecting to see more than one discussed. So if I wanted to go back through here, I'm going to say here, let's see, she's okay. So I don't necessarily talk about her emotions there. Her, okay. So now I'm going to say, so she is, I don't know if introspective is an emotion. Um, So I don't know. I might rethink that. And then she's feeling disgust in many ways, and so all right. I'm gonna go with that. Okay, save and next. I'm gonna submit my assignment, and there we go. Hooray for me! I have submitted my assignment.